It was a day for Buddy Rice at the rain-shortened Indy 500. A day for the racers. Will it be a night for the Pacers? Certainly not a night to be outside. Tornado warnings and a tornado touchdown 4 miles from Conseco Fieldhouse has forced the sellout crowd inside. That's where they want to be anyway, because it's Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And their question is their star player, Jermaine O'Neal, with a brand-new knee brace after injuring it in Game 4. He put the knee brace on, went to the Pacers practice facility all by himself to test it out. We'll find out how effective he'll be after his gutsy performance the other night in Game 4. There are moments that define, moments that separate the greats and inspire an entire franchise. Trailing by 1 game, the Pacers. And then he returned. Tonight, Detroit must once again take a win on the road. Indiana protects their renewed home court advantage. Pistons, Pacers, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Sold out and so far safe from the elements. A packed house at Conseco Fieldhouse. A stormy outside, about to get stormy inside. Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That's Jermaine O'Neal, number 3 man in the MVP voting this year, the best big man in the Eastern Conference, but a question mark tonight as to how effective he can be. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Doc Rivers. Michelle Tafoya and Jim Gray will join us shortly. Game 4 the other night, Doc, the Pacers had to have it in Detroit. Rick Carlisle didn't look like a gambler, but he kind of rolled the dice and he came up with nice numbers the other night.
Yeah, he really did. He won the casino that night. The moves he made were great. The number 1 move, obviously, is Crozier. Putting Austin Crozier in changed the dynamics of this series. The Detroit Pistons have double-teamed throughout and been able to rotate. When you put Crozier in, if you rotate off of him, you leave O'Neal open. If you leave him open, he's going to make shots. And him making shots was only half the story, but it really did change the rotations for the Pistons.
Rick Carlisle said it wouldn't have been a smart move if he wasn't ready to play and didn't play well. He was, and he did. The question for Larry Brown, the adjustments he has to make tonight, but somehow they got to get some power from their inside guys.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, Larry Brown doesn't want to make a change. What he wants to do is dominate down low. He's saying if you, the Pacers, are going to go small, then we're going to dominate you and we're going to pound you. But when you look at those numbers, they didn't do that. They must do that in this game this evening.
Let's take a look at the Bud Light starting lineups. Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton in the backcourt. Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and Ben Wallace up front for Larry Brown. For the Pacers, Jamal Tinsley. Bad ankle, bad hamstring, bad everything on his left leg. Reggie Miller, Ron Artest, Jermaine O'Neal with the bad knee, and Austin Crozier making only his 2nd start of the season. Let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, Brad, thank you very much. I just spoke to Jermaine O'Neal. He said his knee is much, much worse today. He just worked out in the practice facility with the brace. He said it's simply going to be a matter of how much pain will I be able to tolerate. There's an awful lot of fluid, an awful lot of swelling. I spoke to Rick Carlisle about it. He said he's going to have to keep an eye on him. I'm not going to be able to get this guy out of the game. He won't come out of the game. We're going to have to take a timeout. I'll force his teammates to do it. They're going to be keeping a very close eye because they don't feel as though he's in the proper shape, but they want to give him a chance. Let's go down to Michelle Tafoya for the Pistons report.
Well, guys, Larry Brown told me earlier that most of his players were embarrassed by their effort in Game 4, so he decided not to show them a lot of film from that. He said, I didn't have to. He also believes he saw an appropriate response today at shoot-around in yesterday's practice, and it looks like it right there, guys.
Tayshaun Prince, who has been virtually missing from the offense of Detroit, knocks down the first shot of the ballgame. Here's O'Neal, but Ben Wallace denied him the slam dunk, and he and Rasheed Wallace hit the deck.
And I don't think that's the way Rick Carlisle wants Jermaine O'Neal starting out in this game, is going to the floor. Great play. I thought great move by Carlisle right there, trying to get O'Neal involved early, mostly for his confidence.
Chauncey Billups, Rasheed outside, got it. Great start for Detroit on the road. For Tayshaun Prince, it had been a 42-minute drought between field goals. That's how much his offense has been non-existent in the series. Reggie Miller with a runner.
You can see both teams trying to score out of movement right now. They don't want this to get bogged down. They know it will, but they don't want to do it early.
Right now it is Crozier on Ben Wallace as Chauncey Billups launches one and Rasheed Wallace keeps it alive. Tayshaun Prince, they leave him alone for three and he knocked that one down.
Well, Tayshaun Prince is answering the critics right now. You know, they need him to make the outside shot so he can spread the floor. The same reason the Pacers need Crozier to do it.
Reggie Miller says it's my house and I'm going to go to work early. Nice bounce pass down to Hamilton low. And Rip has to bring it back out on top. First Piston turnover. Artest. Tinsley right back to him from 18 and got it.
See, to me, bringing Crozier in, you know, him making those shots were key. More importantly, he's taking away that double team. You know, you have to stay home with him. I think that's the difference.
Nice look by Ben Wallace, but the shot is blocked. Tinsley for three.
Wow.
Not sure about that one.
No. Oh, man.
Rip Hamilton on the baseline.
Was that thunder or was that hit the backboard?
I'm not really sure.
I'm not sure. My goodness.
We're not sure the noises we hear tonight, if it'll be the elements outside or the crowd inside.
Oh, man.
Jermaine O'Neal against Ben Wallace. Up and over it.
We're starting off early talking about Crozier. Again, the reason Ben Wallace is guarding him is because Ben Wallace will not come out the three to guard Crozier. That's the matchup the Pacers want, though. But Crozier is the reason that matchup is happening.
Rasheed Wallace fades on the baseline. What a shot. Wow, both teams are so much hotter than we've seen through 4 games. It's ridiculous.
It's game 5.
Picking up steam, isn't it?
They have to.
Tinsley and a runner off the glass. And the foul's going to be on Ron Artest for an elbow.
You know, that last shot by Tinsley, that's more of what Rick Carlisle wants out of him. He has great quickness, great ball handling abilities, and he's one of the guys that can break down the defense, and they need him to do it.
Pistons by 3 early. Wallace, same position this time against Crozier. This time he'll take the lane with a finger roll, and he came up short. Crozier spots up 3. Not this time. O'Neal, though, keeps it alive. O'Neal asking for it. Gets it, goes strong, and got it. And leaves Ben Wallace in his wake.
Yeah, that's the matchup Jermaine O'Neal likes. He doesn't like it the other way around because Rasheed Wallace is so long.
Pick and roll, and Wallace on the baseline. Boy, Rasheed Wallace is right on it.
And he's in a great rhythm. I think the key for him is get volume of shots. In the first game, he got 6, 7 shots. That's not enough for him. He must get a volume of shots.
He's got 4 already, and he's hit 3 of them. Tinsley gives it up. Artest wide open triple. Got it! Well, the big guys have come to play already, haven't they?
Yeah, they have to. I mean, right now they're making more jump shots than pounding it down low, but every shot they take will have an effect.
Chauncey Billups erased our 13 all-time in a hurry. And timeout taken by Rick Carlisle. So the Pistons led by as many as 5 early on the road in a vital Game 5 in Indianapolis. Jermaine O'Neal looking pretty good so far. His team trails Detroit by 2. 15 points, and we talked to Larry Brown today about the fact that his second-year pro was having a tough time getting involved, especially offensively for the Pistons in this series.
He'll say we're not calling plays for him, but, you know, I feel like in this sport, especially when you get to the playoffs, plays break down. And when plays break down, you got to just play basketball. And he's just not assertive. You know, I think he's done a lot of good things to help us win, but offensively, at some trips we're playing 5 against 4.
So far tonight, that has changed. Let's check in with Michelle.
Yeah, it has changed tonight. He has 5 early points, go 2 of 2 shooting, guys. But the one thing Larry Brown also acknowledged, he said, look, it's up to me as a coach of Tayshaun Prince to understand when he's not being guarded and to try to force feed him so that he has to be in a position to shoot and score the basketball, or just to put him in positions to shoot. That was on Larry Brown. That one he took on himself, Doc, and said, I have to work on that part.
Yeah, I think Larry's being politically correct there. I think what Larry really is trying to say is, and he said it, in the playoffs, your plays break down. It's up to the players to make plays. And what he wants Tayshaun Prince to do in those times is to go out, grab the ball, and make a play. And that's what he's going to have to do.
Jamal Tinsley had a great push to the basket, but he missed again off the glass. And Crozier comes up with a steal. Tinsley again pushes it, finds Artest open for 3. And he got his own rebound. Now it's Reggie Miller. And he's pushed on the baseline.
And he's upset. It's rare that you hear a whistle blown with Reggie Miller, and he doesn't get that ball up to the glass somehow so he can get 2 free throws. You know, he's great at drawing fouls, but you can watch him. He was really upset that he passed that ball off instead of giving himself 2 shots.
Now he'll pass it in, and O'Neal gives it right back to him into a double team. Crozier this time trying to dish it to O'Neal, and he turns it over. Rip Hamilton all the way.
Wow. That was a quick, strong move from Rip Hamilton. You know, the good sign right now for the Pistons is they're scoring points, and Rip hasn't been involved yet.
He has 4, but it's been a quiet 4 with 5 to go in the first quarter. Reggie Miller on a runner around Rip Hamilton, and Ben Wallace snatches down the rebound. Billups looking to give it up and almost threw it away. 5 on the shot clock. He'll take a turnaround jumper. Tinsley got a piece of it. Nice job defensively by Tinsley. Now he hits the deck. He's tripped by Billups. And that'll be 2 on Chauncey. That's all Jamal Tinsley needs to get tripped and hit the deck again.
And we haven't talked about Tinsley's health. First of all, great effort for him getting the block shot. And you can see the little grab of the foot. But you know what? Not a bad play. Because otherwise they have numbers and probably get a layup. Here now they have to take it out. Sometimes those little fouls save buckets.
Remember, Jamal Tinsley, ankle, calf, and hamstring on the same leg, his left leg. Crozier trying to reverse layup. Timeout taken by the Pistons with 4:13 remaining in the first quarter. Pistons have quieted the crowd. They lead by 4.
Every June, the big guns in golf.
Reggie Miller basically won game 1 in this series, and he's had a couple of games of 21 and 15 points. Tonight he has 4 early, and Steve Javie, our lead official, Wired, had a little chat with the 5-time All-Star.
Exactly right. I got you. No doubt about it.
I don't mind holding. If I can hold, he can hold. I'm not big to him.
I'll be talking to both of you all night long because I'm trying to prevent things before they happen.
But he and I are the same players, you know?
A lot younger, man.
See, now that's cold. That's cold. The battle between Rip Hamilton and Reggie Miller, and Reggie calls Rip a mini-me because they do play almost exactly alike, except Reggie's such a prolific three-point shooter that Rip is not. But they've been having a great battle through 4 games so far.
They really have. It's been a joy to watch. You know, again, Reggie shoots the three better. Rip has in-between game. They grab, they hold, they push, they flop. They do all the same things, and I think they're really irritating each other right now.
I'll give you odds that Reggie gets back at Javi sometime before the night's over.
He couldn't come
up with anything. Here's Rip Hamilton on the baseline. And Jamal Tinsley gets the rebound, and he's fouled by accident, Rasheed says, but he can't say much about that. Rasheed Wallace gets his first.
You know, I think it's interesting still now. Austin Crozier's off the floor, but what Carlisle is doing now, he's playing Al Harrington at the 4 spot. Bottom line is he's going to stay small.
Freddie Jones also in the lineup. So Harrington, Tinsley, Jones, Artest, and O'Neal on the floor for the Pacers with 7 on the shot clock. Tinsley got an open 3. His outside shot, since his leg has gone bad, has not been what it normally is either.
He's not a great outside shooter, but not a bad. But when your wheels are bad, it's tough. And the further you go out, the tougher the shot is.
Hamilton. Nice give inside to Rasheed Wallace. What a great look by Rip Hamilton.
One of the adjustments the Pistons have made, knowing that the Pacers are small, is running pick and rolls, because they know most pick and rolls involve a 4 and a 5 rotating on defense. They know that the Pacers don't have but one big out on the floor.
Jermaine O'Neal, a pick and roll of his own, but it's stolen away inside by Lindsey Hunter. Detroit doing a good job defensively and with their offensive plan so far. They have their biggest lead of 6. Rip Hamilton trying to make it 8, but Harrington pulls back the rebound. Pistons have missed, the Pacers rather, have missed their last 5 shots. O'Neal will try to change that against Rasheed Wallace from the elbow. Yes. 6 for Jermaine.
I tell you, he looks great. He hasn't favored the leg at all, moving great. And one of the things Rick Carlisle said he has to do is keep him on the floor to keep him warm. He does not want to take him out and get him cold.
Wallace over to Prince. And Prince has it stripped on the baseline. Detroit turns it over. Tinsley all the way. This time he got it off the glass. He's had about 3 of those, and this one drops for him. Tayshaun Prince is fouled underneath as the Pistons got back quickly in transition. Jermaine O'Neal's looked good. 6 points, Doc.
Yeah, he really has. And you can see the key thing here is one-on-one coverage. You know, not getting the big coverage and double teams, and then Tinsley. So the 2 guys who are injured for the Pacers right now are playing good basketball.
Well, just when we say that, Jamal Tinsley's heading to the Pacers locker room again. And Jermaine O'Neal is coming out, but not heading to the locker room. Let's check in with Jim.
Brad, Jamal Tinsley is going back right now into the locker room to get worked on by David Craig. He had about 2 or 3 hours today of rehabilitation on his hamstring. It is slightly torn, what the MRI revealed yesterday. He also has the bad knee, the bad ankle. They're just going to try and work on him as much as possible, Doc, when he's out of the game, because they want to try and keep it warm, and all of this massage seems to help him. Nothing else, he says.
Yeah, it's really tough. I mean, you're playing with a hamstring that's partially torn. I mean, this guy must be playing in so much pain, it's amazing.
You know, and he was asked, how's your leg? He said, I don't have a left leg. Short of amputation, he's got about the worst leg you can have. Here's Harrington inside, and Rip Hamilton with a rebound. 1:20 left in the first quarter. A 4-point Piston lead. They've had the lead throughout. Harrington and Ben Wallace battling. They'll leave Ben Wallace alone, and he almost threw it away. Lindsey Hunter with 2 on the shot clock is going to have to put it up. And And Jeff Foster, who's in there going to the floor, trying to save it for the Pacers. And the officials come in to separate everybody. And the Pacer fans on their feet for the hustle of Jeff Foster, who played only 3 minutes the other night with the emergence of Austin Crozier. Those two guys, two best friends on this team, one cheering for the other, and I'm sure Austin doing the same thing with Jeff battling for that rebound.
Yeah, and that's what makes them great teammates. Here you can see the whistle was blowing. It was like a fumble in football. You don't hear the whistle, but you're not going to let go of the ball.
Not until they forcefully separate you. There's Crozier out, Foster in to jump it with Wallace. Controlled by Detroit. Under a minute, first quarter. Corliss Williams has nice position against Artest.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys that is stronger than Artest. You know, that was really close, that last shot, to an offensive rebound.
Well, the fans thought it was offensive interference. There's a hand on the rim. That's Eldon Campbell's hand.
And I think what Steve Javie was saying was it didn't affect the bounce. Yep. So, you know, you can call that either way.
Final half minute now, the first quarter. Foster underneath, rejected by Ben Wallace. His 46th block shot of the playoffs. And the Pistons are going to have the first quarter lead, and they can add to it here in the final 15 seconds.
See, the thing that stands out to me so far, if you're going to go small like the Pacers, you don't want to have to play half court. The reason they're playing half court is the Pistons are scoring almost every time down right now. And only a few people in our league can get this shot. Fortunately for us, we have one of them in the gym. Not that fortunate for the Pacers. That was a great shot block.
Rip Hamilton fouled on the other end by Fred Jones. He'll go to the free throw line. Rip with 4 points. Shooting 83% from the free throw line in the playoffs. 7 points, Piston lead. Which team was the all-time champion? Jordan's Bulls versus Bird Celtics, and Wilt Sixers versus Magic's Lakers. Cast your votes in the semifinals matchup of the all-time finals challenge on NBA.com. So this is a great start for the Pistons on the road, knowing that if they can win Game 5, they would get the home court advantage, and they could finish things off at the Palace of Auburn Hills on Tuesday night at home. A long ways to go, though.
Well, Larry Brown has gotten everything he wanted. He wanted his bench to come out and play well. They have. He wanted Tayshaun Prince to get off early. He has. The Pacers have to start making shots.
Artest had a pretty good look at that last shot, but it doesn't go. Game was tied at 13 with 6:40 left in the first quarter, but Detroit closed that quarter out with a 12-4 run, and they've got an 8-point lead. On the road, the Pistons against Reggie Miller, Jermaine O'Neal, and the Pacers. We've played one quarter, and the Pistons look good on the road. So far, it's been the Pistons the better of it tonight, as they've made some adjustments and they've looked good on both ends of the floor. They had that nice finish to the first quarter after we were tied at 13, and thus the 8-point advantage, 25-17.
Well, one thing Larry Brown said was he didn't have to worry about sense of urgency, you know, in this game. He was really upset at his team because they had a 2-1 lead in Detroit, and he didn't think that they came out with the same sense of urgency that they had played throughout this series. Tonight, they're doing it again. They're playing with great sense of urgency.
Ron Artest at 3.
So that's a 7th 3 already for the Pacers, and what shows in that is they have 0 free throws.
Yep.
So one thing they're going to have to do is still attack the basket. Yeah, they're small. They're playing small ball, but they can't settle for all jump shots. I know that's not what Rick Carlisle wants.
The other night they went 8 out of 16 outside the arc, and they'll take that, but 1 out of 7 is not what they were hoping for. Corliss Williamson from the free throw line. Artest with the rebounds, got Harrington out in front. He makes the catch and the jam.
And see, Harrington got that because he's a 4. He leaked out on the basket on the shot. He knew his man is going to go for the backboard and try to rebound. He leaks out, he gets the dunk.
Hamilton around a pick. Jones can't stay with him, but they work it around the perimeter, and he doesn't take the shot. Now he lobs it underneath Eldon Campbell on the baseline. And Jeff Foster with a rebound. Test. Anthony Johnson, Fred Jones, Al Harrington, and Jeff Foster. Different look to the Pacers lineup here. Harrington with Hamilton, the outlet. Boy, almost hit Lindsey Hunter in the head with that. Now it's rejected by Artest.
That was a heck of a rejection. Ron Artest was running backwards, had to stop and still get up in the air to block that shot.
Johnson off the mark on a three, and Foster keeps it alive. Artest against Corliss Williamson, and a foul.
See, usually Ron Artest can physically beat people with his strength. There he had to use his speed. This is an amazing block shot. Look at him. He's backpedaling, trying to get back, and jumps up in the air, going backwards. That's pretty good. Usually he uses his power, but when he's going up against Williamson, he has to use his speed. That's why he got to the foul line. The first time they've taken it to the glass, now they get to go to the foul line. They have to attack the basket a little bit more here, Brad.
Twisting off his wrong foot blocks that shot.
That's pretty good.
There's his numbers so far. Ron coming off a 20-point, 10-rebound performance in a Game 4 win the other night. Jermaine O'Neal checks back in, and we check it with Michelle Tafoya.
Hey, guys, between the two quarters, Larry Brown was complimentary. He said, hey, we didn't foul in the first quarter. They committed 4. We didn't allow second shots. They allowed 2 second-chance points. He said, but we did a horrible job on the pick and roll. Keep everybody in front. And he says that an awful lot, Doc.
Yeah, it's tough, though. When you're small, it is so tough to not only stop the ball, but then get back to that shooter. That's what the Pacers are trying to do.
Ben Wallace fouled before the move to the lane. Fred Jones picks up his second. Donovan Bender's coming in for the Pacers. And for Detroit, it'll be Tayshaun Prince, Rasheed Wallace, and Chauncey Billups, all starters and all back in.
Man, that's like AAU ball. they brought in like 5-6 guys at the same time.
All new line. 4-point game. It's been as many as 8 when we started this quarter. In fact, Detroit has not scored yet in this quarter. That's 2 minutes old. Brad Nessler, Doc Rivers, Jim Gray, Michelle Tafoya, and our ESPN crew. This is Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals, a vital Game 5. You win this one, you usually win the best of 7, 83% of the time. Another rejection by the Pacers. Chance to cut the lead to 2. Harrington missed in close, and Tayshaun Prince with a rebound.
Yeah, he has to go with more power. He saw Campbell or Rasheed Wallace there and slowed down. Harrington has to attack the basket on those.
And instead, I'm afraid he attacked on the defensive end and picked up his first foul. Jamal Tinsley's on the exercise bike over there and isn't pedaling right now. That won't warm it up, but I think he's adjusting all the sleeves he has. He has one on his calf, his ankle's taped, and now he has a sleeve on his left hamstring. So he'll try to warm that up. We'll see if he'll come back. Tough catch by Eldon Campbell, and threw it back out to Rasheed Wallace. Not by design. Wallace, shot clock winding down. A 3 on the way. Freddie Jones showing his hops with a rebound. Again, a chance for the Pacers to cut it to 2. Jermaine O'Neal going inside to Harrington. And again, he had it rejected.
Yeah, that's a tough place for Harrington, though, because he's so small. You know, that's just a tough place.
Al's listed at 6'9", but when you've got Rasheed Wallace with those 7'1" arms, it's a whole different ball game inside. 4-point game with 8:49 to go in the half.
Welcome back to the 2004 NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN.
This is Game 5. Jermaine O'Neal started, and he has played extensively so far. His team trails by 4 Of course, after being injured the other night, he was questionable. We take a look at our Sprite Mad skills for the night. Jermaine put the knee brace on, then went to the Pacers practice facility to check out some of those skills while some of the folks looked on. And then they looked at him early, missed a slam, but then he went over Ben Wallace from the outside and took Ben Wallace inside. So he looks fine, actually, to us right now. We don't know how he feels, but he looks good. Let's check in with Jim Gray.
Hey, Brad, when I was talking to Jermaine O'Neal before the game, he said he watched the tape several times. He said every time I watch it, I get more scared than the last time. Really frightened him quite a bit. He said one thing about this, I'm really blessed. Really, really blessed. It could have been so much worse.
Boy, there's no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about that.
Doc and I got to the second replay, and we quit watching. I think the whole Eastern Conference Finals is blessed that he didn't go down and stay down, because that would have really messed things up for both teams, really. Because if Detroit went on to win, they'd say, well, yeah, they did it without Jermaine O'Neal playing against him, and if Jermaine wasn't in there, the Pacers may or may not have had a chance. So luckily he's out there. We're glad.
And on that last play, you come out of a timeout. Larry Brown goes to a zone, and you know he doesn't like playing zone. But on that time, it really messed the Pacers up, because they were coming out with a man-to-man play and wasn't prepared for that zone D on that one.
You saw the field goal drought, 1 in 7 minutes and over 4 minutes without any. And an offensive foul on Detroit goes against Eldon Campbell. Down to 8 minutes remaining in the half. Still the Pistons in front. Pacers looking for some offense. Let's see if O'Neal can get it to Jones. Outside for three for Fred Jones.
Boy, that is something. At the beginning of the year, this is why you shoot every day. At the beginning of the year, he could have never made that shot. And now he's very comfortable shooting the three.
Tayshaun Prince, a turnaround air ball from the elbow. Rasheed Wallace tried to save it and did. Rip Hamilton's going to put the mask back on at the scorer's table and get set to check back in. He's been the leading scorer for the Pistons. He's the #3 scorer remaining in the NBA playoffs behind Kobe Bryant and Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, and great substitution, Brad, by Larry, because he can see his team right now bogging down. They need offense, and Rip Hamilton is the guy to give them the offense.
I don't think he was crazy about Tayshaun Prince's last shot either. There was not a glance in Tayshaun's direction as he headed to the bench. Here's Hamilton. He got involved immediately on offense. He missed it, but he got it back. He backs it out to set things again. Rasheed Wallace hasn't touched it much since early. He touches it there. It's a blocked shot, but it's a goaltending on Bender.
See, this is not a coincidence. You bring in Rip Hamilton, your team is struggling on offense, and the next two plays, they go to Rip Hamilton. Bottom line is, both of those plays were made by Rip Hamilton, not through the offense, but through his movement. That's what Larry Brown wants Tayshaun Prince to do more of.
Freddie Jones, heat check. Got it!
You're right. Heat check. That's all that shot was, Brad. He wanted to see.
Fans like what they see. We're tied for the second time tonight. Corliss Williamson. Eldon Campbell tried to dunk it. Pacers on the run. They haven't led so far tonight. They won't on this trip either.
Boy, they missed a golden opportunity right there.
Well, they might get another one.
They will.
Well, they call a foul down here as Anthony Johnson is wrapped up before he could break free.
You know, we have a saying in the league, it's called feed the pig, Brad. If you make a couple of shots, make sure you get the ball back to him. When the Pacers had that last break, Anthony Johnson should have been searching for Fred Jones. Where is he? Where is he? And he missed him because he was wide open again behind the three. And here's just a great defensive effort right here by Johnson. Great defense.
He got hooked pretty good by Corliss Williamson. He didn't have time to find the pig, much less feed him. And now they just threw it away. Rip Hamilton plays it beautifully and lays it in. And a foul. Boy, just that quickly, Rip Hamilton takes the momentum right away from the Pacers. Rick Carlisle did not like the look of that one.
No, he didn't like the surprise trap, and that's what Detroit did. They trap Bender, get the turnover. Rip Hamilton has come in, and he has provided offense for the Pistons when they were struggling.
Larry Brown in his first year as the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, and this is the 7th team he's taken to the playoffs, the 4th different team he's taken to the conference finals. Obviously, with a record like that, he's been around a little bit.
I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla, Amagilla. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man.
Not necessarily everywhere, but a lot of different cities, including Kansas, where he won a national title.
I've been everywhere.
UCLA, also collegiately. And, of course, the last 6 years was a head coach of the Philadelphia 76ers. And they lost to the Pistons last year in the second round of the playoffs in 6 games. So 7 different teams, an NBA record. His record, 79-78, which is 6th place all-time in victories. And it's always good to hear the man in black, the late, great Johnny Cash.
And more importantly, his wardrobe has improved.
It has.
Because Larry Brown broke every fashion rule possible.
Everybody did in those years, didn't they?
Oh, my goodness.
He's looking pretty good tonight.
He looks good. He's one of the better dressed coaches in our league. But he's had a lot of practice.
Yes, he has. Rip Hamilton trying to cap off a three-point play and does. 11 points for Rip. He has scored the last 7 for Detroit, and their lead goes back on his three-point play to 3. I'm going to be humming that Johnny Cash song. Jermaine O'Neal, Rasheed Wallace on it tight. There's a double team from Prince. 3 on the shot clock. Artest rimmed it out, and Ben Wallace with the rebound. The guy that really wanted to get a handle there was Fred Jones standing outside the three-point line. They didn't get it to him.
Yeah, you know, as a coach, it always bugged me when I had a guy going and the guys on the floor didn't notice it. You know, he can go another minute or 2 without touching the ball, and now he's lost that feeling. That special feeling.
That special feeling. Ben Wallace missed a hook shot. And the shot clock expired as he didn't get it to the rim. So nice job defensively that time by the Pacers.
Well, what the Pacers or the Pistons are trying to do is attack closure. The problem is they're attacking him with Ben Wallace. I don't think Rick Carlisle minds that.
Ben Wallace had only 1 point, though he did have 19 rebounds the other night. But he's not a scoring threat, or at least he hasn't been for the most part of the series. And so, as Doc said, that matchup probably doesn't bug Rick Carlisle too much at all. Reggie Miller's back in, so's Jamal Tinsley. Jermaine O'Neal foul on the catch before the shot by Ben Wallace.
You know, I just find it interesting, Brad, right when Crozier comes in, that's 2 fouls now at the basket. Again, when he comes in the floor, it's not about him making the shots. It's about him taking one of those bigs out and standing them at that behind the three-point line. Makes it very difficult for anyone to help.
Crozier standing on top right now, and now he's going to drive on Wallace. He got around him. Good move. He just didn't finish it. Lindsey Hunter at the point now for Detroit. Hamilton, there's the pick and roll, but he got it too far in front of Rasheed Wallace. He'll take the shot anyway. Got it! A 3. That was a tough catch, much less shoot it all in one motion.
That was a horrible shot. But it went in. That was one of those shots where the coaches was like, no. Exactly. I mean, that was not the best shot I've seen.
It just shows, though, that you said earlier he's in a groove.
He's in a groove.
He should touch it every trip for Detroit if they can get it to him. Artest will take it over Wallace. That's 2 Artest has missed in a row. Now Crozier, not strong enough again. Fresh clock. They'll go back to their offense. Boy, Artest's going to keep trying until he either gets it right or gets fouled, isn't he? Let's go back to that pick and roll where Rip Hamilton got it out to Rasheed Wallace.
I mean, first the catch was great, and then he just kept going, a turnaround jump shot. You can see Artest running at him thinking, oh, great, that's a good shot. It goes in.
So we were tied at 27, 6 straight points for Detroit. Ron Artest at the free throw line. Ron with 7 points tonight. Coming off, as I mentioned, a 20-point, 10-rebound performance in the 15-point win the other night. And he rips that one. Western Conference Finals, Game 6. Minnesota at Staples against the Lakers on TNT Monday at 9 o'clock, and they close out Minnesota. Minnesota hung in there last night. Game 7 if necessary. Target Center Wednesday on TNT at 9 o'clock Eastern. Here Artest has cut it to 5 as Detroit has led from the outset in this one. And we have a little over 4 minutes left in the first half. Tayshaun Prince got Jermaine O'Neal in the air, trying to pack it inside to Corliss Williams and threw it away.
All right, whenever you get a guy in the air, that's a great time to try to take that shot and get a foul. Tayshaun Prince lost a great opportunity to draw another foul on Jermaine O'Neal.
And Lindsey Hunter fouled Jamal Tinsley, and as Jamal got up, he gave Lindsey a little push as if to say, I need some help up. I think I'll use your shoulder as a brace.
And now the little guys are talking.
They are talking.
For the officials, that never bothers you. Lindsey Hunter is one of those guys, a little bit like Derek Fisher, who knows all the tricks. He was trying to draw a little flop charge there. You know, you can see him. He just didn't get it set in time. I think the officials, when the two-point guards start, like mouthing off, I think they should just let them go at it. They're not going to hurt either one. I mean, they're going to be able to get right back up.
It'll only be a middleweight fight. It's the heavyweights they don't like.
Yeah, no, we don't like those.
Tinsley got them both. Cuts the lead back to 2. And timeout taken by Detroit with 3:46 remaining in the half. Jamal Tinsley, battered and bruised, still hanging in there. How important is Game 5? You can tell by the looks on the faces of the Pistons and the Pacers. This one means everything right now.
We talk about hockey?
I know Greg knows a lot about hockey. You guys talk about that in about 3 minutes, 47 seconds. 33-31, the McDonald's NBA brackets in the conference finals. This one's in Game 5, a vital Game 5 before we head back to the Palace at Auburn Hills 2 days hence. The Lakers now with a 3-2 lead. They can close out the Timberwolves if they can win at Staples Center tomorrow night on TNT. 3:45 left in the half. And Detroit has led the whole way. Here's a block shot by O'Neal. Tinsley waits for company and feeds Artest.
That is a point guard making a play right there. He made the guy take him, and then he dipped it off. That was a great pass. Great setup by Tinsley.
Third tie of the ball game, even at 33. Hamilton to Corliss Williamson, who's triple teamed. Prince on a runner, didn't get it. Crozier with a rebound. Tinsley said, get it out here. Reggie wants it, takes it, didn't get it.
Those are the plays Larry Brown was talking about with Tayshaun. You catch it, low block, make something happen, Brad.
Ben Wallace has a tough catch, and now Rip Hamilton has it blocked by Reggie Miller. Rick Carlisle calling out the play. Tinsley, Miller, Crozier, O'Neal, and Artest are on the floor for the Pacers. They haven't led tonight. Still don't, but Reggie is going to be called for an offensive foul.
And you know what he's calling his kick? You rarely see this. This is the world beat free call that Reggie Miller brought back to the game. When he takes jump shots, he kicks his legs out to draw contact and then falls. Watch, you see the kick there? That's where that call is. And they've decided they're going to start calling that on the shooter. I love that call. That is an excellent call. Of course, if I was Rick Carlisle, I'd be upset.
Depends on where you're sitting.
Yeah, always.
Hamilton picks up a loose ball and scores. Just like that.
Boy, the ability of him to pull up on that jump shot makes him unguardable at times. Any other guy would have kept going and got his shot blocked by Jermaine O'Neal, who was waiting for him.
If Detroit wins this series, I don't care what happens in the next game or two, Rip Hamilton's the MVP.
There's no doubt.
He's got 13 points here in the first half. Crozier underneath uses his body to draw the foul from Eldon Campbell.
And this was earlier. Jermaine O'Neal obviously showing that he's pretty healthy.
Pretty smooth move.
Yeah, Somersault, I'll give him a 2.
Nice follow through.
But due to injury, we should give him like a 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Degree of difficulty with a knee brace.
You know, I know everyone is wondering why Crozier is driving the basketball. And I guarantee you in a timeout earlier, Rick Carlisle noticed that they had no free throws. Since then, everyone has been pump faking and attacking the glass. The reason the Pacers are back in this game is not because they're making shots. They're going to the foul line.
And this guy is an 89% free throw shooter. Tied at 35. And now the crowd will come to life for the Pacers defense. Hamilton again. Reggie Miller with his second foul, and he is hot.
Oh, he's hot because his guy, his twin, is lighting him up right now, and Rip Hamilton is just doing it all. You remember earlier the Pistons were struggling for points. Larry Brown goes to the bench, brings Rip Hamilton back on. He scores 4 straight points. Right there, they needed another bucket. Rip Hamilton to the rescue. He's been on the answer every single game in this series.
And another three-point play for Rip. 16 points for him. And just when the Pacers keep tying it up, it seems the Pistons, and in particular, Rip Hamilton has an answer. He has 10 of the Pistons' 13 points this quarter. Artest almost lost it. Now they're going to say Reggie Miller stepped out of bounds, I think.
And Tayshaun Prince calls that. You know, Reggie Miller wanted that 3, but Prince got to him so quick. Miller had the pump fake, and by doing that, he steps out of bounds. So, you know, those are the little things that Tayshaun does do that, you know, I think at times even his coach doesn't notice. Right. He notices, but he's really tough on
They don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but when you watch film, they do. Hamilton's drawing a crowd, and he's shooting over that crowd. Wow. What a first half by Rip Hamilton.
Unbelievable.
Timeout taken by the Pacers. Rick Carlisle has seen all he wants to see of number 32, I'll tell you that much. Meanwhile, the Pistons riding the number 3 remaining scorer in the playoffs. Detroit by 5 after we were tied at 35, and Reggie Miller was assessed a technical en route to the Pacers bench during that timeout.
Frustration.
Yeah.
You know, 2 things are going on. You know, he gets the offensive foul, he steps out of bounds, and the guy he's guarding is rolling. You put all those things together, that's a technical foul.
Doc, this is almost unbelievable. The first individual technical foul called on a player in this series. Rick Carlisle's the only other guy that's gotten one. And when you get into game 5 and it gets this intense, you expect that to happen, but that's pretty good that we've only had one.
That's impossible. You know, when you look at it, you got Reggie Miller, who gets text. You have Rasheed Wallace, who the technical has been named after. And then the only guy, and then the guy who never talks is the one guy who had the tech in Rick Carlisle. That's pretty amazing.
6-point advantage again. So 6 straight points for the Pistons. Final 48 seconds of the half. And a whistle and a foul
on Eldon Campbell. hooking Reggie Miller.
That's
now,
the third on Campbell.
Again, you'll see it here. Reggie Miller gets into his back. There's the hook and the toss, and there's the foul. And this game is getting a little chippy. Can you tell?
It is.
And the game fives always do. But this is the 9th and 10th time that the Pacers have gone to the foul line in this quarter. Remember, Brad, we talked about it ending the first quarter. They had 0 free throw attempts. So the only reason they're still in this game is because they're now attacking the bucket.
And that was their first missed free throw, and then he made the second one of this quarter. One of the greatest free throw shooters in history and in playoff history actually missed one, but he did cut the lead down to 5. Rip Hamilton has scored 15 of the last 18 Detroit points. He won't get any here. Reggie Miller with a steal. He goes up and had it blocked by Tayshaun Prince.
Boy, the Pistons have numbers right now. And they're slowing it down to take the last shot.
There's about a 4-second difference on the shot clock and the game clock. Artest trying to pick up Rip Hamilton. And as quick as Artest's feet are, we know who has the speed advantage on that. It'll be Hamilton straight away outside the arc. Reggie Miller has a chance, got it to Tinsley and a runner. Probably had more time than that for the shot. And it's a 5-point Piston lead at the break on the road. So Detroit closed out the first quarter with a 12-4 run, the second quarter with a 6-1 push, and they lead by 5 at halftime, 41-36 here in Game 5. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
All right, joined by Rip Hamilton, getting rid of his mask. You guys look like an entirely different team out there tonight. What kind of urgency are you feeling?
We like playing in these states. I mean, we know it's 2-2. And it's a game that we definitely want to get, so we coming out playing aggressive from the beginning.
You continue to be the catalyst, answering all of their runs. Some people would describe the way you're playing as being in a zone, feeling unconscious. How would you describe what you're feeling out there?
I'm feeling good right now. You know, I'm excited. You know, I love these situations. My teammates doing a great job of giving me the ball where I can make things happen.
But you told me earlier, you guys have problems putting teams away sometimes. You need to learn how to do it. How do you put this game away in the second half?
We just got to hit first. I mean, we hit first. You know, we know what the stakes are now. You know, so we're doing our best to go out here and win so we can go ahead and take it back home.
Rip, thanks for stopping.
Thanks.
Brad, back to you.
They're halfway to taking it back home with a lead and a chance to close out on their home floor. Coming up, the halftime report, the Toyota halftime show. Kevin, Greg, Tim, and Stephen A. will all be coming up to look back at this game, look ahead to the Lakers and Timberwolves, talk about the Indy 500, the NHL playoffs, and a lot more. We're at the break at Conseco Fieldhouse. Fans not liking what they're seeing right now. It's the Pistons leading the Pacers 41-36 at the break. Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Conseco Fieldhouse just about set to start the third quarter. 41-36. It's Detroit on the road, leading the hometown Pacers, who had the best record in the Eastern Conference, at home. The Nike halftime statistics look like this. Both teams started out hot, but they cooled back down, courtesy of the defense. The points in the paint goes to the side of the Pistons, and that's something we had looked for tonight. But I think the big story so far, Doc, we're having a Rip Snorton good time right now.
Yeah, we really are. I mean, he's ripping them up. I mean, he's doing everything. Rip Hamilton. You know, every time the Pistons have gone into a scoring drought, Larry Brown has called his number, and he's really making it happen. A lot of his points haven't come exactly off the offense. He's just taking them upon himself right now to get it going.
The only player to score in the second quarter other than Rip Hamilton is that crazy shot Rasheed Wallace took on the baseline for a 3. Rip had 15 of the last 18 points before halftime for the Pistons. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya. Michelle.
All right, well, I spoke to Larry Brown coming out of the locker room. He said this game is going to come down to who executes better. Now, he acknowledged they only had 8 turnovers, the Pistons, but he said way too many of those were unforced. He loves that his team is playing hard, but he said a few of the guys that are playing hard need to relax. Mike James and Lindsey Hunter need to slow down a little bit when they're in for Chauncey Billups. Now over to Jim Gray with Indiana.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. Spoke to Jermaine O'Neal. He is really feeling quite a bit of pain. He wants to continue. He will continue in the game, but it is giving him quite a bit of trouble. As for Rick Carlisle, he said, hey, we've got to do a much, much better job on Rip Hamilton. Says the guy is getting open way too much. We have to help chasing him off the screens, and we have to give him help. We may double team, and we may even have to get a little physical. Brad?
Doc, maybe some zone as well?
Yeah, I think you'll see that, especially when Rip gets going. You know, the Pacers have shown zone every time, and it makes Rip stand around. So that's something you'll see. And I love when you hear the word physical come into the playoff series. Like this series hasn't been physical.
Really. It got a little chippy, especially in the last 4 minutes of the second quarter, where there's a little bit of shoving going on. The officials did a nice job curtailing that, at least for the time being. And now to start the third quarter, see if the Pacers can draw first blood. O'Neal hasn't scored since the first quarter, but he does there. It's a good way to start things off.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the Pacers have to find out now if they can go to it. You know, O'Neal's been making shots off of ball swings. They're going to have to start going to him just to see how he feels. If he feels good, then you have to get the ball to O'Neal.
Rip Hamilton, unbelievable. What a game.
Well, they know who to get the ball to.
There's no doubt there. He has 21 points. And we just started the third quarter. Artest muscling his way. Got his own miss, and he'll go to the free throw line. Tayshaun Prince with his second foul in the last minute. Well, Rip Hamilton didn't cool off at halftime. Let's say that.
No, I mean, you can see his movement is amazing. And right now, he's about a step quicker than Reggie Miller, and he's making the shots.
About to have the best game he's had, and he's been over 20 in every ball game so far. A couple of 23s. Coming off a 22-point performance in the win 2 nights ago. Ron Artest coming off one of his better games. He is the only Pacer in double figures right now, but he missed the free throw. And he missed them both. Hamilton wants it. Reggie Miller, he got away from him momentarily. They didn't get it to him. They swing it around. Phillips gave up a 3. He'll take the 2 instead. And Ben Wallace. Long rebound. Tayshaun Prince for 3. And it's going to be a foul on Tayshaun Prince. That's 3 fouls in a minute and a half.
You know, that's a great lesson for young players. Tayshaun Prince caught it behind the 3 and hesitated. Either shoot it or move it. He really didn't want to take that shot, but because he was open, he took it anyway. Just because you're open doesn't mean you have to shoot the ball.
Tinsley working against Phillips. Works inside. Goaltending. Big Ben got up there and swatted it away, but there's goaltending on that one, so Tinsley has 6.
You know, besides the charging foul, I think this is the other one that is very tough to call. That was going down. I think that was a good call. And that was still tough to tell in slow motion.
I was going to say, we're watching super slow-mo, and I'm going, okay, I can see the ball kind of dipping down a little bit. Rasheed Wallace got into this one early. Jermaine O'Neal strips it from him on the baseline. Rasheed had 8 points in the first quarter and then one long 3-pointer that, as we said, would have been a bad shot had it not gone in. That was his only scoring of the second.
I tell you what I like, though, Brad, right now, Rasheed Wallace is playing physical basketball instead of the finesse game that he can go to.
Here's some finesse. And Reggie Miller the rebound. Tinsley trying to push it as fast as he can on a bad leg.
See, no lift. I mean, Tinsley right there, you can see it. Any other time, that's 2 points for Jamal Tinsley. He just had no lift. You watch it at the very end. I mean, it's almost like he caught a flat tire.
I can almost jump that high.
Oh,
that's not saying.
Oh, I don't know, Brad.
He needed a pit stop.
Yes.
Phillips looking for Wallace. The extra pass and one more to Hamilton, who's open. Oh my goodness.
Wow. I mean, he's giving him everything. The up fakes, the in-between game, the speed, the moving without the ball. Rip Hamilton is giving the Pacers it all tonight.
He has more than half of the Pistons' points right now. Crozier will try to answer from 3-point land. Billups out of the pile. 3-on-2 for Detroit. Billups off balance. Going to go to the free throw line.
See, the difference between the other night and tonight, number one, Crozier's not making shots. Number two, Harrington is not making shots. They have to get both of those guys involved, and they have to make shots.
Between them, Harrington has a field goal. Crozier has 2 free throws. That's it. And now Chauncey Billups at the free throw line for the first time tonight. And knocks it down. Tune in to NBA TV to see the emotional story of one of the greatest players to never make it to the NBA. Hooked. The legend of Demetrius Hook Mitchell premieres June 14th only on NBA TV. Chauncey Billups knocks down both free throws. And he has 4 points on the night. And the lead goes back to 7 now. O'Neal lost the handle. Billups out of the pile with it on the run against Miller. Artest might want to work Prince, see if he can get a 4th foul on him. Well, they got the finger roll instead.
You know, again, Artest started doing it in the last game in Game 4. The difference between Artest now, the first 4 games, and tonight and Game 4 is he's taking it straight to the bucket. He's no longer trying to draw fouls. You look at here, this is just speed up to the glass. Before, he was trying to take it into the body to get a foul. Now he's just trying to make shots. Larry Brown's having some fun.
Yes, he is. Hamilton. Oh, man. I don't know.
Whoa.
Have you seen anybody this hot in a while?
No.
He's 10 out of 16 from the floor.
He catches it so quick.
Artest, left-handed. This one in and out. Jermaine O'Neal, though, will keep it alive. He's blocked by Rasheed Wallace. Now Tinsley steals it on the other end. And a technical, I think's been called on Jermaine O'Neal.
You know, I don't like this tech, and I'm going to tell you why. I know what Steve Javie was trying to do, and I like what he was trying to do. Jermaine O'Neal got the tech early. You know what I mean? He got the tech a play earlier, and what Steve Javie was trying to do was allow the action to continue, and then he was going to call a tech. I think you got to call it right when it happens or don't call it. You know what I mean? But you got to watch O'Neal, too, because he's not feeling good. And you want to make sure that you keep your best player in this game.
Pistons by 7. Back in Indianapolis, let's look at the play. Here's Jermaine O'Neal, the shot blocked by Rasheed Wallace. You'll see Steve Javie say it was a clean block. Jermaine O'Neal's reaction right there.
See,
now we're going to take it down the other way.
Yeah, but that's the tech right there. Now, he's already decided, Steve Javie, that he's going to call a tech. He was going to wait to see what happened on the other end. And then when it came down here, he decided, okay, nothing, no action's going on. I'm going to stop play, and I'm going to call a tech.
So he didn't want to penalize the Pistons if they were able to score on the break.
And you know what? That part I like, because he's allowing the Pistons to continue to play.
Okay.
Didn't want to penalize them. But to wait that long is unusual. But when you think about it, it's a referee repping the game with feel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Us coaches, we complain most of the time because he would have called the tech early when you had a break. I think what Steve Javie saw was the Detroit Pistons had a break, and he didn't want to stop action for them to get the break. So in one way, I don't like it because he waited so long, but after watching it, I love it because he allows the Pistons to play. No reason to penalize them because a Pacers player lost his cool.
Question is, what if the Pistons had scored? They didn't on the other end. Then what if the Pacers calmly come down and get in their half-court offense, and all of a sudden there's a whistle? Then it looks even more weird.
I think if they had scored, he would have allowed the point, stopped it right there, and gave the tech.
Okay.
The tech was coming. That was the guarantee.
Either way.
Either way.
Okay. Interesting. Pistons have tied their biggest lead, up by 8. Pick and roll. O'Neal kicks it out to Tinsley. I just don't think he's the guy you want shooting threes.
He doesn't have the legs.
No.
He really doesn't. I mean, every single shot has been front of the rim. That one almost didn't make it to the rim. I love his effort, and I love what he's doing, but I think he's going to have to get to a point where he's just going to have to turn some of those down.
And now he's having a hard time tracking down people defensively, too. He did have a great game, one of the games in the Miami series where he was 5 out of 6 from three-point range, but remember, that's before that whole left leg started giving out on him.
See, that's his game. He can do that because he can get to the bucket.
Even those aren't falling tonight, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot left, but I can see that. I mean, watch him. Look at him getting down the floor. Oh, my
Hamilton, score it again.
He's like the Energizer Bunny. I mean, he really is. The guy has never stopped moving. I watched him. He's running circles around everybody. Rick Carlisle has to be going crazy because he's such a tough guy to prepare for. I mean, look at his movement. He's always moving. It's much tougher to be able to guard a guy on the post. You know, where you know where he's going to be, you can go and trap him. You can't prepare for Rip Hamilton.
Nope, it's hard to prepare for constant motion. It's like trying to scoop up some mercury after the temperature or the thermometer breaks. It's kind of hard to corner.
It really is. I mean, he's the new Ali. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yeah, he's doing both. Another Detroit steal. Pacers right now imploding. Rip Hamilton has 28 points, with the exception of a three-point shot by Rasheed Wallace and 3 free throws by Chauncey Billups. He's got all the points since the first quarter.
You know, really, when you look at this game, both teams are playing poorly. Rip Hamilton's playing well.
He's a notch above everybody else right now.
To me, that's going to have to be the guy for the Pacers, is Al Harrington. You know, Crozier is going to get Crozier shots. He's going to get the wide open shots, and if he makes them, and that's good. Al Harrington has to be the guy to create offense. Jermaine O'Neal is not 100%, so we can't expect him to be a hero tonight. Someone else on the Pacers have to be it, and I think Al Harrington or Artest has to be it.
But as you saw, Al Harrington has struggled mightily in second halves. He's had some great first halves. Again, Tinsley missed a 3. Darvin Ham the rebound. I got to think Rick Carlisle's got to think about Anthony Johnson or something. And I give all the credit in the world, don't get me wrong, to Jamal Tinsley for playing with the guts he's playing with, but I don't think he's helping the team right now.
No, he's not, and I agree with you, Brad. He's doing what he should do. You have a guy who's injured, and he's decided, you know what, I'm going to suck it up, and I'm going to keep playing. But he's struggling, and here comes Anthony Johnson, and I think that's a great move. You know, you feel awful for Tinsley because what you want as a player is to get to the playoffs. You get to the playoffs, and then you get injured.
Another sub-35 field goal percentage. They've only had one above 35, and that was 25 the other night.
If he made that, then he passed the hot check.
Pacers are in the midst of their 5th field goal drought of over 3 minutes tonight. Not a good sign. Whistle and a foul, and it's going to be on Darvin Ham, who's on the deck. 20 times in this series, now in its 5th game, the Pacers have had field goal droughts of 3 minutes plus, and that's why you see that 31% field goal percentage we showed you just a moment ago.
Well, the one difference in this one is that they've at least gotten to the basket and get fouls, and so they get to go to the foul line. So they are making shots from the foul line, and I think that's key for them. That right now is the only reason that this game is not a 20-point game.
Jermaine O'Neal not even close on the free throw. Let's check in with Jim.
Brad, Jamal Tinsley right now, once again being looked at by David Craig, the trainer. This is just an injury that is not going to get better. Jamal told me it's going to take the offseason. It's nothing that a day off can do or some treatment for however many hours can repair. He's got the bad knee, the bad ankle, and it is a partially torn hamstring. The MRI revealed that. it's just not going to get better. And as Doc keeps saying, he can try as hard as he wants, and it's a tough deal, but this is the wrong time for this to be happening, and he's not going to be as effective as he normally would be.
And he's been key. I mean, he was the unsung hero earlier in the season and during the playoffs. So I think Rick Carlisle at some point is going to have to think about Kenny Anderson and getting him into this game. The tough part for Kenny Anderson, one, is Chauncey Billups, and two, he hasn't played.
Kenny looking on. 13-year veteran.
You know, it's tough, Brad, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, for a coach. See, this is what Rick Carlisle is thinking right now. He wants to stay loyal to the guy who got him there in Tinsley. You know, he knows the guy is giving him everything that he has. He knows that he's injured. Rick Carlisle also knows that he's not playing well, but he also doesn't want to give up on the guy because he's giving him these minutes with injury. So it's such a tough call for Rick Carlisle at some point to put his hand on his shoulder and say, listen, we're going in another direction.
Meanwhile, Hamilton going in the positive direction, has 30 points, a career playoff high. He's got a lot left in his tank, I'll tell you that.
Well, you know, Rip Hamilton alone is only 13 down from the Pacers.
That's right. Block shot by Rasheed Wallace again. Boy, the Pistons, there's a long ways to go in this game, but they're making huge strides in taking the possibility of winning at home in Game 6 back with them to Detroit.
So now it's Fred Jones' turn.
It's going to be Rip Hamilton time in a second. No, he gives it up to Wallace.
And he knocked down a three at the buzzer.
But that was because of Rip Hamilton. You know, Al Harrington was so concerned with Rip Hamilton, he turned his back, helped off Rasheed Wallace. Rip sees it, and so now Wallace gets a wide open three. Everything right now is being caused by Rip Hamilton.
It doesn't matter if he's a shooter or he's the assist man, as he is in this case. Watch this. There's the double team.
Look at Harrington. He's so concerned with Rip, and they should be because he's ripping them up.
Yep. This is the largest deficit for the Pacers so far in the playoffs, Doc, with 4:17 left. When you're down 15, you know you've got a lot of basketball left. There's 16 minutes plus, but are there answers? That's the question right now if you're Rick Carlisle.
Well, this is the tough part because I don't know if Rick Carlisle can answer the questions himself. He doesn't know how healthy Jermaine O'Neal is.
Right.
He knows that's where he wants to go, but he knows if he goes to me, he doesn't know himself if Jermaine can answer. So, again, the guys you have to look for are Tess and Harrington right now. I do think they have to find out what O'Neal can give them.
Pacers have missed their last 6 shots. They haven't had a field goal down in over 4 minutes again. We approach the 4-minute mark of the third quarter. Fred Jones will try a three. O'Neal went up for the rebound. And apparently he's going to pick up the foul. And he can't say much about it because he's already picked up a technical and now has his 3rd personal foul.
And this is where you worry about a young team here. You know, you give them a lot of credit. You look at Tinsley, you look at O'Neal, both young players. They're injured. They're trying to play, but they're not playing well. O'Neal already has a technical foul. So you're really concerned about their psyche right now.
You can tell by the looks on their faces and the body language. It's not going their way right now. Ben Wallace knocks down the free throw. That's a good sign for the Pistons. That's his first point. Let's check in with Michelle.
You guys, I spoke with Rip Hamilton a number of times this week. He said that when Larry Brown first came to Detroit, it was tough. He said if it was, I'd be lying if I told you it was easy. He said he got used to what Larry Brown wanted from him and started to understand what he needed to become as a basketball player. Since then, he said, man, it's been unbelievable fun. I'm having the most fun since I've been in this league. He certainly seems to be having fun tonight.
Jones, the jumper at the buzzer, and got it.
You know, Jones right now for the Pacers is the only guy that is playing free. Everyone else is playing like they have something on their shoulders. You know, Jones is just going for it. You kind of like guys like that.
Our test on Hamilton. Trying to feed the post and knocked away by Fred Jones. Inside is Harrington.
But again, they're so concerned about getting their shot blocked that they're changing their shots. And by changing their shots, they can't go to the foul line. Harrington should have just taken that and went right through his body and at least go to the foul line.
Rip Hamilton's got 30 points. They're going to be asking in Indiana tomorrow if Detroit wins this game, who was that masked man?
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, brought to you by Nike.
(59-45). 14-point advantage in favor of Detroit. Pat Metheny was on guitar for the national anthem. Bruce Hornsby on the keys. That was a beautiful national anthem.
I think that was awesome.
Rob Reiner here in Indianapolis.
What was his nickname?
Meathead. That super fan for the Pacers. That guy's got quite the get up. This guy has quite the game going. He's closing in on some nice company there.
Those are some good names to be with right there.
Rip Hamilton leads everybody with 30, and he's led this barrage for the Pistons to give him the lead they have. And look at the guard comparison. 30 points, Reggie Miller has 5. Reggie hasn't scored since late in the first quarter.
And really the reason Reggie Miller is off the floor is because Rick Carlisle is looking for someone to go Rip Hamilton. By doing that, he's taking Reggie off the floor, and that hurts their offense.
Jermaine O'Neal just picked up another foul.
You know, Larry Brown is doing exactly what he needed to do. The question was, the Pistons or the Pacers made a change. They went to Austin Crozier. What were the Pistons going to do? The first move Larry Brown wanted to do was show the power, attack the basket, be stronger. That's what they've done. And then the topping on that has been Rip Hamilton.
Corliss Williamson at the line. Got one of two. Artest, Johnson, Jones, Harrington, and O'Neal on the floor for the Pacers as we are at 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Artest dribbles into some traffic. Johnson over Billups. Got it. Two-pointer for Anthony Johnson. That is his first basket.
You know, it's so tough right now for the Pacers to make a run because every time they think about making a run, Larry goes to Rip.
Oh, what a collision between Anthony Johnson and Corliss Williamson.
Yeah, this is boom. Step that shoulder out, and that's an automatic foul in this league.
Would have been nice for somebody to yell a little help.
Yeah, that's what Anthony is thinking. If he can think right now.
I don't know how much he's thinking about.
No, he's hearing Bell.
Harrington deep on the baseline, knocks it down.
Good offense, though. And that's what Rick Carlisle wants. Dribble penetration, kick. Dribble penetration, kick. That's what they need.
Down to 11. Artest is chasing Hamilton all over the place. Defensive player of the year in the NBA, but he's guarding a guy that's tough to guard. Ben Wallace off the Rasheed Wallace miss. And now Jermaine O'Neal, was he called for another foul?
Yeah, they're going to say that he went over the back of Corliss Williamson. I tell you, Artest, this last play, that was just great defense. Here's what they're going to call right here, Jermaine O'Neal over the back. Watch the first rebound right here.
Right there.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't either.
That was more length.
So Jermaine sits down with 4 fouls and only 9 points. And Corliss Williamson with 4 points. Western Conference Finals coming up. Minnesota and the Lakers. TNT on Monday at 9 o'clock in Game 6. Eastern Conference Game 6 will be at Detroit at 8 o'clock Eastern on Tuesday night. Yeah, that one took a while. As we approach the final minute of the third quarter, Pacers are going to find themselves in a hole with 12 minutes to try to dig themselves out of it and not lose the home court advantage. They don't want to go back to the Palace of Auburn Hills. As good as Detroit is there and as loud as that crowd can be, Harrington's going to get a second try. Foul before the shot. See how many times this one goes around, Doc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about a 6-point free throw.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's good. Like a hula hoop we had going on. Al Harrington at the free throw line. We mentioned he has not done well statistically in second halves. He did that baseline jumper a couple trips ago. Got the second.
They have to make their free throw.
Well, they're only 3 out of 8 from the line, the last 8 they've had. As you said, if that's the only way they're going to try to get decent points or decent attempts, they're going to make them all. Williamson got Harrington up and under. Missed the shot, though. Final 30 seconds of the quarter. Jones for 3. He got it!
That's a big shot. That's a big shot.
Down to single digits for the first time in a long time. Virtually no difference on the game clock and shot clock to close the third. Pistons will have the lead. It's just a matter of by how many. Here's the man of the night, Hamilton. Baseline, didn't get this one. And the third quarter expires without any more harm done to the Pacers on their home floor. But they made a nice push to close the third. What was once a 16-point gap at 59-43 is now 62-53. Pistons in front. Who's going to control quarter number 4? Will the Pistons go home with a game lead, or will the Pacers be that much closer to the finals? Hang around and find out.
A bunch of Detroit Pistons fans. This one, ironically, is named Reggie, and you drove here from Detroit this morning. How long did it take?
4.5 hours.
And what did you have to spend on these tickets?
$60.
How are the Indiana fans treating you?
You know what? Not so great, but we love it because we get right back to them.
Has it been worth it so far? Worth the trip? Worth the money?
Every penny. It's priceless.
Even sitting way up here?
Even sitting way up here. It's priceless. Wonderful.
And are you getting a little nervous now that it's gotten a little close?
Oh, I'm not worried at all. Our Pistons will pull through. Don't worry.
Okay, well, from this Reggie to the other Reggie and back down to you guys.
Pretty prophetic sign, too, that his buddies were holding. It's not Miller time, it's Hamill time. And has it ever been tonight? Richard Hamilton has 30, ripped the leading scorer, but the Pacers made a nice run in the last 3.5 minutes. Came from some unlikely sources again, Doc, and that's kind of been the story of this whole series, really. Guys that have stepped up. Anthony Johnson hit a shot. Freddie Jones is starting to get his game going. Harrington's still out on the floor. That's who they're going to have to live and die with.
Yeah, and you know, Reggie Miller's been sitting a long time. I think at some point they're going to have to go back to him as well.
Just like that, Lindsey Hunter knocks one down. His first basket of the ball game.
I guess he's calmed down, like Larry said.
Had to get calm.
Slow it down.
Not easy to do when it's game 5. Harrington
Nice pass inside by Johnson.
Well, Anthony Johnson has played terrific also. You know, he's not a scorer, but he's doing a lot of little things that keep this Pacer team in this game.
Hunter and Billups, Williamson, Okur, and Rasheed Wallace. The Pistons on the floor. Corliss with a hook. Harrington the rebound. The outlet to Johnson. It's 9, looking to make it 7.
And one of the things that Rick Carlisle said in that quarter break was, I got to change the tempo of this game.
Fred Jones had a good look.
More importantly, Fred Jones is looking. You know, he needs 4 more guys to play that free.
Rasheed Wallace in the low block. Harrington trying to stay with him. 2 on the shot clock. And Artest all alone for the rebound. Here come the Pacers again with a chance to cut down the lead. They do.
Larry Brown is not going to let this crowd get into the game. But look at the Pacers play right now. They're attacking every single time. Every single time.
10-17 remaining in the ballgame. It was once a 16-point lead. But the Pacers reserves have come to life again. Al Harrington and company on a 14-5 run. The ball game is down to 7.
First, I won.
Cool. What prize you win?
ESPN's presentation of the NBA Eastern Conference Finals, brought to you by GNC. We are professional grade. And Sprite Remix Very Clear. Rethink, remix, refresh.
The lead of the Pistons is down to 7. 64-57, courtesy of the pace cars.
The small ball, the quickness. You know, Rick Carlisle said, let's push the ball up. Let's change this game into a track meet or a race car race, if you would like. And that's what they're doing. All the small guys are involved now. Last one, Anthony Johnson to Al Harrington. They are really putting pressure on the Pistons right now in the pace.
The Pacers bench has scored the last 14 points. Let's check in with Jim.
Fred Jones came out of his shoe. You talk about a fast pace that's going out of here. He put that move on Lindsey Hunter. His shoe ripped almost out of its sole. He's got a new pair. Back in the ball game. Got to have your wheels tonight.
Harrington on Rasheed Wallace, and he pulled the chair on it.
How about that? The little guy pulling the chair. Now, what Larry Brown is trying to do is pound it down low. If you're going to go small, we're going to punish you. And that was a great pull the chair by Al Harrington.
10 minutes left in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals here in Indianapolis.
The biggest guy on the floor right now for the Pacers is Austin Crozier. He's the center. Al Harrington is the power forward.
And Crozier's a 6'10 jump shooter. Here he is on the outside. Harrington, Ben Wallace on his hip. Trying to go up and under, lost the handle. Still Pacer ball.
I don't know why Austin Crozier cuts through when he throws it to the post. He actually allows him to help when he does that. He should space out. No one's going to leave him.
Jamal Tinsley standing on the pedals to have a look. Artest, 4 with a 3. Detroit with a rebound.
The Pacers have to keep this game up-tempo. They cannot win, especially being this small, playing power ball.
Rip Hamilton hasn't scored yet in the fourth quarter. And now the ball is loose, and the Pacers pick it up.
Force the tempo.
See if they go to Fred Jones. It'll be Johnson for 3. Got a decent look at it.
Yeah, but I thought they lost a golden opportunity on that last possession, again, to get a transition bucket.
Hunter kept his pivot foot, almost turned it over. And now a double team on Rip Hamilton.
Artest right now is doing a terrific job on Rip Hamilton.
Let's check in with Michelle.
During the last time out, guys, Larry Brown told his team, you've got to attack the basket and get fouled, and you've got to get back in transition. We're giving up transition baskets on bad shots, but he reminded them finally, as much as he wants Chauncey Billups to be a threat, he looked at all of his guys and said, defense is going to win this. We've got to guard everybody, guys.
You know, it's tough for them to get back because if they start at the same point, when you look at the Pacers, they're just a little quicker. I think what Larry Brown really wants is what he said earlier. You got to keep attacking the basket. The Pacers don't have one guy on that floor that can block your shot.
They added a couple seconds to the shot clock. Detroit has one field goal in the last 7.5 minutes. Jermaine O'Neal is coming back in. Ron Artest will get a breather. That won't be the last we'll see of Ron Artest tonight. You can bet on that.
No, it will not. Now, the question is, who's going to guard Rip Hamilton? Because in that last stretch, Artest did a pretty good job.
Looks like it's going to be Fred Jones for openers.
Well, Rip's going to find out.
Here it comes. And he missed it. And it's Johnson the rebound. Pacers trying to push it. Detroit does a nice job in their transition defense to get back. We're under 8.5 minutes, 64-57. Jones got Hamilton in the air, takes the outside jumper and got it.
Boy, this kid is playing one heck of a basketball game. Playing with great confidence and great composure. It's a game again.
Rasheed Wallace foul underneath. Freddie Jones has cut the game down to 5 with that jumper.
Well, I was more impressed with his patience on that jump shot. You know,
could have taken it the first time.
He could have taken it exactly, and instead, he's not playing like a guy who just got in this league. Boy, he's playing with a lot of confidence.
Jermaine O'Neal with 5 fouls. With 8 minutes to go, do you leave Jermaine O'Neal out there with 5, or do you just give it a couple more seconds and bring Artest back in?
Well, I think right now, Rick Carlisle is thinking we have to get back in the game. If the time is right now. You know, if O'Neal does foul out, obviously it would hurt him. But it's not like he's the healthy Jermaine O'Neal anyway, you know?
That's true. Rasheed Wallace has 15 points tonight. Got them both. 7-point game with 8 minutes to go. Harrington, tough shot, blocked. Chauncey Billups a pull-up and got it. Big shot by Chauncey Billups, his first field goal since the early stages of the first quarter. And it stretches the lead back to 9. Normally those would be the kind that make Larry Brown scratch his head, but I think he'll take that last one.
Yeah, he will. And he was scratching his head on his shot. I was looking right at him.
Chauncey taking a chance, but he knocked it down. Pistons, 68-59 lead.
This is the 2004 NBA Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN.
And it's Game 5, and it's in Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, and the Pacers trail by 9 to the Pistons with 7:34 remaining in the ball game. If you take a look at our GMC game track tonight, the guy that's been on track all night has been Rip Hamilton for the Detroit Pistons, tying a career playoff high with 30 points tonight so far. He has not scored, though, in the fourth quarter. Jermaine O'Neal playing on wounded knee, 9 points, has 5 fouls, including a technical, although he is 4 for 7 from the floor. But it's been the Pacers bench that's brought them back in the game and down from 16 with a 24-7 advantage there. They've got the Pacers at least in the ball game, led by Fred Jones.
Yeah, I think what stood out or staying out in this series is Rick Carlisle is realizing he's not big, strong enough to fight the Pistons. So what he's going to try to do is change the pace of this game and all the rest of the games to win this series.
Ron Ron Artest is back in there. He's in with Jermaine O'Neal, playing with 5 fouls. Artest with the left hand. Ben Wallace rejects it. How big a block shot has that been? That's his 5th of the night. And that is the 2nd time in this series he's had 5 blocks. Rasheed Wallace. Crozier on him. Ben Wallace, another rebound.
See, this is where, when you go small ball, you can do 2 things. You can post the ball, and you can offensive rebound.
And for Ben Wallace, his 10th rebound to go with those 5 blocks. Tayshaun Prince up and around. Fred Jones might be his best move for the whole series right there.
Well, no, that block shot was his best move.
Well, that's true. I forgot about it. I've been offensive.
Yeah, but right there was great patience, and he went and got his own shot. That's what Larry Brown wants him to do.
And Rick Carlisle's going to send in his 2 starters in the backcourt, Reggie Miller and Jamal Tinsley. Anthony Johnson, open 3. Kept alive by Jones. Nice look by Jermaine O'Neal, but Anthony Johnson goes up against Ben Wallace, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose that battle.
Oh, you're going to lose it.
Under 6 minutes now. 11-point Piston lead. Rasheed Wallace open on the baseline. Rip Hamilton caused that again. 8-0 Piston run again. You start worrying about getting ripped, and you get Wallace-ized instead. I don't want to say he's become a decoy, but he's helping his teammates now. Rasheed from outside. He's got 18. And the lead is back to 13. Game 5 so vital. The Pacers on their home floor trying not to tumble, looking for answers, maybe for veteran leadership. But the Pistons on the road have had the best of it so far. Who will get the best of the last 5:47? I don't think you want to go anywhere right now. It's been a rip-roaring good time. 72-59. 2 timeouts ago, this was Rick Carlisle's comment to Jermaine O'Neal in the huddle.
You got 5. Try not to foul. If I take you out now, you'll never get into it.
And then with those 5 fouls, couldn't defend against Tayshaun Prince and couldn't shot Rasheed Wallace either defensively because he was worried about the 6th foul.
Yeah, you can see, especially the Tayshaun Prince one, any other time he probably attacks it and goes after it. And the reason Rick heard what he meant by you couldn't get into it if I took you out, that's where these injuries come into play. I think Rick Carlisle would have taken him out, but he knows with that knee, if he sits him down, it's no way he's going to be able to warm it up to get back in the game, so he had to leave him in.
Tinsley, Jones, Crozier, Miller, O'Neal on the floor. There's some shooters out there right now for the Pacers, and they might need them all. Jones has had his best game. O'Neal works against Rasheed Wallace.
See, I've been saying this a lot this game. Because of his injury, O'Neal, I think the Pacers decided not to go to him, thinking he couldn't do it. And I think they just find out still what he can do. I think he can give them more than they think offensively.
Hamilton with 4 on the shot clock. Long ball over Jones is short. Rebound is Tinsley's. We're under 5 minutes. Chance to get it down to single digits again for the Pacers. They got it as close as 5 at one point. Tinsley had it stripped. Costly turnover by the Pacers. Only their 9th, but it couldn't have come at a worse time.
But again, you know, we talk about feed the pig. Your best player just made a great post move. Go back to him again.
1 too many passes. Wait a minute. Foul called.
Al Harrington is third.
On Al Harrington.
No, I think that's wrong.
Check that they foul on Ben Wallace.
Wallace. Yeah, originally they said Al Harrington, and, you know, it's tough because I don't see Al Harrington on the floor. I know he's quick,
You threw
but
up a
he's
number
not that
3,
quick.
but he's not that fast.
3 seconds.
Al's going, hey, come on, leave me alone.
They're picking on me.
Big collision between O'Neal and Lindsey Hunter, and you saw Jermaine O'Neal for the first time that I kind of skipped on that injured left knee to try to keep it out of harm's way as Hunter picks up his 3rd foul. See, that's all you need on that knee.
That's just what he needs.
Yeah. Better off to set a pick with your right hip. You can possibly help it. You have to be on the other side of the lane for that. He missed that shot. Ben Wallace with the rebound, and the foul's going to be on Tinsley.
Yeah, but I think you got to find out, Brad. And, you know, I think every player has a side. He scored once on that side, but that's not the side of the basket that he wants it. I think you got to get him on the opposite block, feed him, and play off of him.
Rip Hamilton. Reggie Miller switches off on him. He had Jones on him. Now Hunter to Wallace. Ben Wallace almost brought down the backboard. And it's going to be Tinsley again.
Yeah, he fouled Rasheed Wallace on the jump shot.
Tough night for Jamal Tinsley. Playing beat up completely and gutting it out. Gets his 3rd foul, and now Rasheed Wallace goes to the free throw line with a chance to hit the 20-point mark.
Rasheed didn't guarantee this one, did he?
I don't think so. Only guaranteed that they'd be playing tonight. ESPN has Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals coming up Tuesday night. It'll start with a Kia NBA shoot-around at 7:30 at 8. Same 2 teams with 1 win having a chance to get them to the finals. East Finals also available on ESPN HD and ESPN Deportes. Eastern Conference Finals on ESPN. We'll all be there. We hope you join us. Will it be Detroit with a chance to close out? Or will it be the Pacers? They'll need a come from behind of 13 points in the last 4 minutes here for them to have the edge. And foul on Hunter.
And that's the one way they can get back in this game. You know, they can get a penalty. But you look at the clock with 3:42, they're down 13 points, you know. They only have 61 for the game. So you're saying, can they score that much that quickly? Well, they have played in spurts in this game. They have to go on one more spurt right now.
If the Pacers were the Lakers, they'd have the Pistons right where they wanted them. Down 13. The Lakers come back against Minnesota last night. Only took them about a minute and a half.
It's amazing.
Tinsley a running 15-footer, and he beat the buzzer. Big shot by Jamal Tinsley.
Yeah, might give him some confidence, and that is his game. You know, he can make a 3 if he's stepping into it, but the standstill 3s have been very tough, and those are the ones he's had tonight.
Artest still on Rip Hamilton. Even drew a double team there momentarily from Reggie Miller, and now everybody switching off defensively, leaving Reggie on Rasheed Wallace. With 4 on the shot clock. Deep fade away. Oh, and what a shot.
My.
You can't defend much better than that. 8 in the quarter, 22 for the game for Rasheed Wallace. Out of bounds to the Pacers. Reggie's on him. There's like 3 seconds left on the shot clock. I watch this one.
And then you see Crozier runs in the picture. Wow. Wow, what is he saying?
I don't know. It looked like he said happy. We'll give him that one. He's not such a bad guy. 2:43, all it remains now. Some of the folks at Conseco are heading to the exits. They might walk right out into a tornado warning. I guess it's over by now. I think it was supposed to expire a couple hours ago.
You mean the game?
No, the tornado. O'Neal. And he'll go to the free throw line.
See, again, you know, when you get it to him, he's getting to the bucket, he's making things happen. You know, it's a shame he's injured, but you still got to find out what he can give you.
He'll walk to the free throw line with those shoes with the 31 on the back and the socks with the 31s on the side, and the 31s for the guy standing behind him. Reggie Miller, he said, remember what it's for, 31. Reggie told us the other day, to heck with that. These kids can go out and win it for themselves. I've had a great career. I want to win one, but they don't have to worry about me.
Well, you know, I told you the story recently.
That was a great one.
When I was playing for the Knicks, they came in the locker room, do you want to win it for Patrick Ewing? And I said, heck no. I want to win it for myself. I've been in the league longer than Patrick. Forget Patrick.
O'Neal missed 2 free throws.
And I think that's what Reggie Miller was basically saying.
Exactly.
Don't worry about me, guys.
What they have to worry about now, it looks like, is a 3-2 disadvantage and a 3-2 advantage for the Pistons. Here's Reggie, no call. He's looking back, looking for some help. Feeds Jermaine O'Neal. Back to Reggie. Back to O'Neal. Maybe too much passing. Maybe Reggie should have taken a couple of those.
That was the end right there. You know, Reggie Miller had 2 opportunities to shoot that 3. If he makes it, it's a 10-point game. The miss, that's it. Now he'll probably make it.
It'll be Hamilton. His first points of the 4th quarter. And that just about tells the story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rip it and read it tomorrow in the paper in Detroit. Career playoff high for the man in the mask. What a night for Richard Rip Hamilton. This is how it's gone since the beginning of the ball game. And he's going to rip the hearts out of the Pacers home fans, it appears, with 1:45 to play. Of the time, the winner of Game 5 wins the best-of-7 series. Detroit's a minute and 45 away from taking a 3-2 lead back to the Palace of Auburn Hills. A 33-point performance by Rip Hamilton tonight. We're talking about his 3-point shooting and how it's improved just in this series, it seems, or in the playoffs. And, Doc, we're talking about during the break. He has 11 3-pointers in the playoffs. He only had 18 in the regular season.
Yeah, it's really amazing when you think about it. He has not been known as a 3-point shooter, and yet in this playoff series, he's entered or introduced that into his game. So if you're Reggie Miller, you're thinking, wow, you know, I had him in that area, the 3-point shot. Now he's adding that to his arsenal. If he starts making threes, it's all over guarding him.
That last one for Rip before the timeout. He's 11 out of 29 from outside the arc in the playoffs. And now the Pacers turn the ball over, something they definitely don't need to happen. And it looks like Jermaine O'Neal is going to probably finish Game 5 seated over there, knee brace and all. Hamilton feeds Rasheed Wallace. Those have been the 2 main men in the arsenal for the Pistons tonight. Rasheed also over the 20-point mark. Austin Crozier, something he knocked down the other night to help them win Game 4, hasn't been able to capitalize on that tonight.
Yeah, I thought he forced some early where he was trying to get to the bucket instead of staying space. You know, and then he lost his rhythm. The other thing is I think the Pistons have done a terrific job of getting out to him. Even on that shot, even though he had an open shot, Ben Wallace almost got there.
Saw Larry Bird looking on for the Pacers. Joe Dumars for the Pistons. And the 3-point shooting tonight, 4 for 21 for the Pacers. What a night by that kid, though. Just sensational. Can't do it any better than Rip Hamilton's done it tonight. And Rasheed Wallace, his 22 points, his playoff high for this postseason. Darvin Ham underneath, getting into the act at the 1-minute mark. He's going to be a happy Rasheed. I don't know if there'll be any guarantees about Game 6, but the Pistons will have the edge going to their home floor on Tuesday night with a chance to wrap it up and go to the NBA Finals Anthony Johnson.
Well, you know, if you're the Pistons, you're thinking it's our last shot to go to the finals on our home court. So you know they're thinking they're going to take care of it.
And if they play like this, or if Rip Hamilton plays anything like this, it's going to be awfully tough on Indiana.
Especially when you factor in the injuries.
Yep.
Bottom line, in this game, the Pistons were just too tough physically.
Mehmet Okur spins inside as everybody gets in the Piston act. And final 20 seconds coming up. So the Pacers, who won Game 4, had a chance to regain the momentum. And tonight it just wasn't there. They never led in this ball game. We had 4 ties in the game, but it was Detroit from the outset, and it was Rip Hamilton from the very opening tip. And the Pistons have a 3-2 edge as of right now, going back to Detroit. Big win on the road, and again they hold a team under 70 points for the 13th time this year, and for the 13th time this year they win holding a team under 70 points. 83-65, the Pistons with a win as we check in with Michelle.
All right, as you mentioned, Brad, a new career playoff high, 33 for Rip Hamilton. Why was tonight your night?
I just wanted to come out aggressive. You know, like I said, we play better in these situations. I just try to be aggressive, try to move without the ball a lot, you know, because I know they zone up a whole lot, and they was going to switch a lot of defenders. And I knew if I just kept moving, they would get tired of me just keep moving.
As you said, you guys thrive in these situations, but now you get to go home and have a chance to win it in Game 6. You guys have been making these playoffs awful tough on yourself. How do you clinch it in Game 6?
We're excited. You know, we know where we want to get to. And there's no greater place to win it at home. And I think we're ready to fight, man. We know it's going to be all-out grind, and we prepare for that.
What about Rasheed's game tonight? Because much like you, he seemed to be in a little bit of a zone.
Oh, she was great. You know, I mean, he was making shots. He was screaming and yelling. And when he's playing like that, man, it ain't too many teams that can beat us.
All right, good luck. We'll see you for Game 6.
Thanks a lot.
Back to you, Brad.
Super performance by Rip Hamilton tonight, a career playoff high. He topped his jersey number by 1. 33 points for him. Well, the Pacers cut it to 5 with 8:22 to play, but it was Detroit running away with it. SportsCenter's coming up next to get our final score. The Pistons 83, the Pacers 65. Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals is Tuesday at 8 Eastern as the Pacers and Pistons head back to Detroit. The Pistons with a chance to close things out. SportsCenter is next. Right now for Doc Rivers, Michelle Tafoya, Jim Gray, and our entire ESPN crew, Brad Nessler from Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The Pistons have the advantage. See you in 2 nights.
This is NBA action.